Outlet pass for Rick Nash. Nash now tries to split the defense and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. He scored. What a goal. It doesn't get any better than this.
As he plays to the point, instead, he works his way back free. Granlund fires, score!
Hello and welcome to the Puck Drops Here podcast. I'm your host, John Crumpet, along with my brother, Howie, here
Howdy.
for episode number 28. And, Howie, we've got more teams that have locked themselves in. I think there's only, in the West, there's only like one spot left.
I believe you're correct. I think it's just
It is. It's the Nashville and LA battling for that last wild card spot, which Nashville now is currently holding.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it's...
Because they're the Atlantic is still kind of battling and figuring out who's going to go where.
Right. So we've got like 6 games left-ish, somewhere in there.
It's like 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, like 5. I think for the Kings to make it, Nashville has to lose 5 in a row, and the Kings have to win 5 in a row.
It's not going to happen.
Well, right now, Nashville has lost 2 in a row, and Kings have won 2 in a row. So the Kings need to win 5 more, and Nashville has to lose 5 more.
Yeah, the Nashville's got a good chance of winning tonight because they're playing Minnesota.
Minnesota better win. No, today. They play at 1 p.m. your time today, and 2 p.m. Yeah, they play today.
And granted, Minnesota won their last game, but they still crap out of me the way they've been playing.
Wow. You know, they better get in that playoff mode. I'm wondering, Howie, did they peak too early?
Well, I know. Well, this last game, Stalock finally made his debut for us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They finally gave up on Kemper and sent him down, or what the deal there is.
What else? How have you been this week?
Getting sick again.
Again?
Yeah.
Well, we had
cold.
We had some excitement here yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced my first tornado up close. I was actually going out to pick up a pizza for my daughter and her friend because Martha and I were going to go out to dinner. I was in the pizza place. It was kind of crowded, and everybody's phone started going off with the tornado warnings and whatnot.
Freeze?
Huh?
Oh, you froze.
I did? No. Everybody's phone started going off. And so I just wanted to get my pizza and leave. So I had this little card that they punch that after you get so many punches, you get a free pizza. So I had to I paid for my pizza, and I had to remind them to punch my card so I can leave. And there was a girl blocking the door as everybody was running towards the back because they wanted me to go in the back.
Yeah.
And I said, "Excuse me," and she goes, "Are you leaving?" I said, "Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm going home." Well, about the time I left the parking lot, the rain hit, and it was so hard I couldn't even see out the window. And just a few moments after that, then the hail, like quarter-size hail, started to fall. And it was pretty windy. Pulled in the driveway, it was still hailing, and I ran out of the car and into the house. And about the time I got in and settled, it all stopped. But I had never seen clouds move that fast before. That was amazing. We did have a few houses that got torn up, and a church right around the corner up here. The roof caved in, and and a lot of trees down and stuff. I'm talking big old fat trees just snapped at the trunk.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But that was my first experience with a tornado, that close anyway. So
Yeah.
it was
Did you see it touch down at all?
I didn't, because when I went outside to the pizza place, I saw the clouds moving in that circular motion, right above
Yeah.
me, pretty much.
Yeah. No.
And then I never saw it touch the ground until I saw it on TV. I saw video of it.
Right.
Somebody took video of it, but yeah. And then we went out to dinner after it all calmed down. So that was exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah. As far as hockey news, I really don't have any hockey news. I guess the hockey news has been the
Just the playoffs.
the playoffs coming. People locking into spots.
Yeah, locking in the spot. The I guess the one excuse me, the one interesting story I did read this week, which I know you read as well,
Yeah.
was 38 years ago is when the NHL expanded from 17 to 21 teams
Yeah.
with the
World
so-called expansion, if you want to call it that,
hockey. Yeah.
of Edmonton Oilers, Hartford Whalers, Quebec Nordiques, and Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah. WHA teams at the time.
Yeah.
Bringing in the Wayne Gretzky era.
Yeah, and I think that was a huge change.
It was a huge change.
I think for the NHL, I think it helped them more than
Absolutely
anything.
did it. Absolutely, it helped them.
Because it seemed and part of it, I'm sure, is Gretzky, because
Oh yeah.
that move just seemed to accelerate the interest in the sport.
I think so. Yeah. But not only that, but I think what really accelerated the sport was not only and you're right, when they expanded from the 18 to 21 teams, I think really accelerated the sport. But when Gretzky got traded to LA, that really I think had he not been traded to LA, we probably wouldn't have an Anaheim or a San Jose or a Florida or,
or possibly even LA right now.
Well, possibly. Possibly.
I mean, it makes you wonder if you looked at it from a conspiracy theory point of view. Was that trade to LA a improve my franchise trade, or was it a
Improve the NHL trade.
a PR move for the league? Something that wasn't actually orchestrated by those two teams particularly, but by the league demanding that move be made.
It's interesting to think about that. It's very interesting to think about it that way. Like I say, had he not moved there, we probably wouldn't have all these teams in the southern states.
Right.
Like we have now.
Let's say if that trade was made to Montreal, between Edmonton and Montreal, would the game be where it's at right now?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Gretzky still would have got his records. He still would have been, but I don't think we'd have 30 teams.
Yeah.
So
what,
interesting to think about.
Was it a conspiracy?
Well, I don't know, but whatever it was, it worked very well in favor of the NHL, that trade.
Yeah.
And starting with the...
which I think Gretzky being hired by the Coyotes as the head coach was a PR thing, not a we want, to bring a Stanley Cup to Arizona.
Well, that was to put butts in the seat.
Yeah.
That's what that was all about. But yeah, I think starting with that 38 years ago, bringing in those teams from the WHA really changed the landscape of what the NHL is today. So, yeah, interesting. Anything else?
No, not really. I mean, it's just been just the shuffler. Yeah, just been watching the games, seeing who's going to be where.
Yeah. All right, then let's go into the standings, and we're going to go. I'm going off of the wild card thing now because that's kind of where we're looking at. So in the East, starting in the East, it's still.
I don't think anyone really cares where Colorado and Arizona are sitting right now.
Right. So let's look at the East first. There's still a lot that could happen here in the East. I think the teams that we're seeing now are going to be the teams, except for the possibility of Tampa Bay and maybe even Carolina. Carolina just came out of nowhere, Howie. And the Islanders. Huh?
And the Islanders.
Yeah, and the Islanders.
You got, I doubt it, but they're an outside bubble shot. You got Philadelphia still, too.
Well, they are. They're mathematically still in it. So you have in the East, wild card teams. Well, the Rangers have now clinched, so they're in. But they're in a wild card spot right now. But they are in. So and then right now Boston is in. So on the outside looking in is Tampa Bay, Carolina, the Islanders, and let's throw Philadelphia in there. And then, of course, there's
now you could pick of those teams who's going to get that last spot. Who would you want to see?
the Islanders.
I'd have to agree. Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, and I like Philadelphia too, but Islanders.
I concur.
Yeah. And then in the Atlantic, there's still, Montreal, of course, is clinched, but not Ottawa or Toronto yet.
Yeah, Toronto could actually get home ice for opening round, which
would be amazing.
I would probably say of all of all the teams, they had the biggest turnaround for the year.
I think so. Yep.
I mean, Columbus had a huge improvement from last year, but
right, they did. But Toronto just they're like a brand new team.
Yeah.
So still a lot of things can happen in the East. We probably this whole thing here will probably mess up us doing our prediction show.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. So
well, I don't know. I mean, it could. We might be okay.
We'll see.
Because
we're planning on that next.
The regular season ends next Saturday.
April 9th is the last day.
Which will be the last. Yeah, which is Saturday it's a Sunday. I'm sorry. So that final day, you got New Jersey, Detroit. They're out of it. Buffalo at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay might still have that shot. Ottawa at the Islanders, both teams are still in it. Columbus and Toronto, they might end up deciding who's going to go where.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado at St. Louis. Pittsburgh at New York, that might change something there. Carolina at Philadelphia. Florida, Washington, LA, Anaheim, and Vancouver, Edmonton. Yeah, there could be changes that day on Sunday.
All right.
We might have to postpone the show by, I don't know what because I'll be off that Monday night following Sunday. So I don't know what your schedule's going to look like.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But this could, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll have to plan it out. Yeah. And then over in the West, things are a lot more set. There is only one spot left, and that is the second wild card spot between Nashville and LA. Since Calgary clinched yesterday?
Yeah. But that whole Pacific division, that whole thing could shuffle.
It could shuffle.
I mean, true. Calgary could still win the division.
That is true. They can. Let me see. So can. There's still a lot of things that can happen in the Pacific, but there's only one spot left available.
Yeah, the Pacific could shuffle a lot.
Yeah. So let's see what the upcoming games today. Florida, Boston, Minnesota, Nashville. That one's going to be a good one, I think. Dallas, Carolina. Nothing today that's really going to change. That could change in the West. Anaheim Edmonton game. That's at 10 tonight.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Yeah, that's a big one. So that might be one to watch. Yeah, that might be the one to watch today. The Minnesota game and the Anaheim Edmonton game.
So
So
yeah, that whole division could swap around, and so this week's going to be interesting.
yeah, we might have to figure out a new day for our prediction show. Squeeze it in somewhere.
Yeah.
Anything else, Howie? I mean, we can cut it short here today if you want.
Not really, until things start falling into place and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah.
this happens.
Yep. So we'll cut it short here today. Thank you for watching and listening to our podcast. You can catch our past podcasts if you've missed any or want to catch up on what's going on. Go out to www.thepuckdropshere.com. Go over to our podcast page, and you can catch all our past and present podcasts there. Send us a like on Facebook. Send us an email at jonandhowie@thepuckdropshere.com. Tweet us. We are on Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook, of course. What was that?
Hey,
Okay. So with that, we will see you next week. Hopefully we'll have a better idea of where we are with the playoffs, and we'll have our prediction show coming up very, very soon. Until then, we bid you all adieu.
farewell. Farewell.